Tzu Chi volunteers provide emergency cash to 5 households affected by the recent storm. Tzu Chi Miaoli Grounds and TCUST both host tree planting activities. Welcome to Dai Headlines, I'm Simon Gan. Thank you for joining us. A big storm hit Ulu Tiram, Malaysia recently, damaging many houses. Tzu Chi volunteers went to give emergency cash to 5 affected households and also prayed with them to bring peace.
Roof tiles have been blown away and there's a big hole in the ceiling. A storm struck Ulu Tiram, Malaysia. Tzu Chi volunteers came to the scene to better understand the disaster.
The ceiling caved in, so the rain poured into our house and shook everything. My husband went to find someone to place our canvas on the roof because we feared that it would rain again at night, causing more damage to our home.
I saw damage to the roof and the roof tiles, but I'm not sure about the electric appliances because there's water in them. I can't turn them on right now or I will get shocked. I must wait until they have dried to know how much loss I have. I still don't know right now.
Volunteers invited survivors to the Tzu Chi office the following day to receive emergency cash. Volunteers also prayed with them to ease their minds.
I was shocked because I hadn't experienced such a storm before. I'm very grateful because there is still love and warmth in the world, and it makes me feel warm. Thank you.
This can reduce our burden and help me repair the house quickly and also get the room ready so my kids can sleep.
Care and blessing can ease the residents' minds so they can rebuild their normal lives again.
Mozambique Tzu Chi volunteers held an epidemic prevention seminar for the volunteers in Maputo, teaching them the knowledge of COVID-19 virus and the right ways to wash hands and wear a mask. Let's join them there.
Raise your elbows to cover your nose and mouth, which protects and respects people and your own self.
This is a good habit for us, not only for the current COVID-19 epidemic, but we can also use throughout our lives. Don't cover your mouth with your palms, but with your elbow.
Maputo Tzu Chi hosts a seminar to teach volunteers about the correct epidemic prevention measures. Apart from providing the government's notification line number, they also distributed facial masks and guide the right way to wear. First, distinguish between inside and outside, with the green one facing outward. The metal strips is at the top and placed over the nose bridge. Tie the strings on top first, then the bottom. 377 volunteers were learning and doing together and cross-checked to see if the mask has covered from nose to chin entirely. The 7 hand washing steps are universal. During the COVID-19 epidemic prevention, Mozambique's greetings like kiss and hug should be avoided. Putting palms together to greet and praying piously become the kindest blessings among people.
To protect people from contracting coronavirus, 30 Tzu Chi volunteers prepared small bottles of sanitizer at the Jingsi Hall in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, for all volunteers and care recipients.
Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur chapter started a bottling hand sanitizer program. 30 volunteers went to the Jingsi Hall in Kuala Lumpur to bottle it.
因为现在马来西亚的那个 COVID-19 的疫情越来越严重。
The COVID-19 epidemic in Malaysia has become more serious, so we hope to care for all our volunteers and our recycling volunteers, and also our care recipients. We also hope by starting this comforting program, we are able to calm people's minds.
This is a very simple thing, but it requires teamwork to get this work done well.
With the strength of many tiny ants, every bottle of sanitizer is produced with the forced attention of volunteers.
Be mindful. If you are mindful, you can pour it correctly. You should try not to spill it. You should prepare it so you can give it to everyone and they can use it. They can use it to wash their hands and their hands won't be infected and the epidemic can be over quickly.
During this special period, the staff and care recipients can carry these tiny bottles wherever they go. Hopefully, this epidemic can end very soon.
As the epidemic starts to slow down in China, many cities that were on lockdown are starting to open up. In Shenyang City, Liaoning Province, the recycling station beside the Tzu Chi liaison office was packed with recyclables. Tzu Chi volunteers recently went there to sort them. Let's join them there. As the epidemic slowed down in Liaoning Province, China, the local Tzu Chi volunteers began to carry out recycling work at the Tzu Chi liaison office in Shenyang.
那你说这样算花的算黄的呀？这个算黄的，但是因为这样的颜色，那面如果是白的就算黄的，就算花的了，是不？好嘞。
The recycling event this time around has over 20 volunteers. Maybe it's because of the recent lockdown. Many people have been staying in their homes for too long. Young volunteer Sun Mingyuan also came with his mother.
This is an aluminum can, and this is a tin can. The ones you took are all tin cans. That's great. These lighter and shiny cans are aluminum cans. You'll be in charge of these two types. Is that okay?
When I participated in the Tzu Chi summer camp, I had a good feeling about this organization. Therefore, I came to participate in the recycling event.
Our Earth is severely polluted right now. It's our responsibility to carry out recycling to protect the environment. We might not have the opportunity to participate in events like this during our daily lives, but it's the holidays now, so I wish that I can bring my son to participate in events like this.
Due to the epidemic outbreak, the children had an unexpected longer winter holiday. Seizing the opportunity, the children carry out actions to save the environment. Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology has hosted a tree planting activity participated by teachers and students. Together, they planted 13 Taiwanese incense cedar and 6 bald cypress trees. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi Miaoli Grounds has also hosted a tree planting activity. More than 100 volunteers worked together to plant 120 Indian gooseberry trees.
Despite the rain, volunteers work together to plant the trees. While the outside temperature is only 15 degrees Celsius, volunteers still work hard till they're panting.
It is cold outside, but everyone feels warm in their house, so it is great. Maybe, before long, when we come again, there will be a forest here.
Stepping on the muddy ground, everyone works as a team. Most volunteers are planting trees for the first time.
In the past, I did not know that we had to add water first so the ground becomes muddy. This way, the tree saplings will survive. Since we've never planted trees before, we're happy to come and learn.
Taiwan University offers part-time work in their experimental forest, so I planted trees and weeded grass on the mountains before. I have a little experience.
Tzu Chi's environmental mission has been carried out for 30 years. Tzu Chi Miaoli Grounds has hosted a tree planting activity.
We've mobilized nearly 100 volunteers who are planting 120 Indian gooseberry trees today. It's called Amla and Buddhist Sutras.
The volunteer spirit is as firm as the trees planted in the rain. They will continue to contribute to environmental protection. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology has also hosted a tree planting activity. Many teachers and students came to participate.
I feel a sense of achievement. We planted trees at the school for 20 years. We planted quite a number of them.
On campus, the fallen leaves and kitchen waste are turned into organic compost used in planting vegetables. In addition, there's a green fence instead of a cement wall.
By planting green fence, you can reduce carbon emission and decrease greenhouse effect.
The school has given tree planters a small potted plant, including melon seeds. It is potted by the staff members of the School Affairs Department, so everyone can learn to coexist with nature.
Vegetarianism is already the trend of the world. Danny, who lives in New York, is a skateboarder and YouTuber. Recently, when he was shooting a skateboarding video, he also introduced his vegetarian lifestyle. He remarked that after becoming a vegetarian, he became more concerned about the environment and health.
I'm gonna get dusted. I'm not warmed up at all. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. I thought you were gonna choose something else. Like doing that, I was like, no, why'd you do that? My name is Danny Torres. I was born in South America, and I grew up in Texas and Florida.
Did you get the kickflip?
Yeah, which is weird. I've been vegan for about 6 years now, and it all started because one late night I was watching YouTube videos, and I kind of just like came across it. I couldn't find a good enough reason not to be vegan. All the reasons for being vegan kind of like aligned with my morals.
Go on my board.
And I noticed that with skating, well, I stopped feeling as heavy. I was able to skate for longer and just have way more energy.
Board side. I feel like I'll front board it first try, but I want to get this back board. It's got too much wax on it.
Yeah, I'm doing like that.
All right, I have to start filming for my video.
Huh?
Are you trying again?
Yeah, you can film it. You guys don't have to. The first initial reason why I started making YouTube videos was because I wanted to like talk about veganism and like inform people about veganism.
These are my new shoes.
They are all vegan. That's right, I said vegan and cheese in the same sentence. Vegan mac and cheese.
I don't really talk about that as much on my YouTube channel anymore, but I still like to portray this like compassionate person that I am. I talk a lot about progression and not letting other people bring you down.
On those skating circle reels is not my strong suit, so I'm kind of relieved that it was first try, and we're gonna walk away with that little bit of progression today.
I was never conscious about my decisions. I always littered. I always like just left stuff everywhere. So when I first went vegan, people were like, dude, what do you, like, you don't care about any of that stuff. And then as I stuck with it, people started not hanging out with me as much, and they started looking at me as like gay, and like they started calling me a f all the time. Being a man in today's society, you have to play this role of just being this like tough guy, and you're just strong and you eat all this meat. And when I went vegan, I realized that a true man is somebody who really cares about, you know, the future of the earth that his children are gonna be on. Bon appetit to my friend.
Cheers, mate.
Because it's not only about your health or wanting to do good for the environment or not wanting to harm animals. You know, it's just like, in terms of everything, like it's an animal rights issue, it's like an environmental issue, it's a human rights issue, it's everything. And if it wasn't for going vegan, I probably wouldn't care about any of it. And it wasn't until all that I finally realized like there's more to life than just like myself, you know? I don't know.
A group of vegetarians in Taichung, Taiwan, hope that the vegetarians can buy vegetarian meals easily. So after 3 years of development, they invented a vegetarian rice ball vending machine so that the consumers can buy it anytime, 24 hours a day.
One vegetarian rice ball drops down in the vending machine. This vending machine sells vegetarian rice balls 24 hours a day.
Vending machines hardly sell vegetarian meal. They sell mostly drinks and cookies. This is very tasty.
There are 8 types of tastes. They either have eggs or not. The ingredients are clearly labeled. Liu Yulian first decided to be vegetarian to create memories for her sick father. But after she saw a documentary on animals, she felt for the animals and determined to be vegetarian for the rest of her life.
We have the same idea, and that is the vegetarian diet has to be very common. Many people don't want to be vegetarian because they feel it isn't easy to find vegetarian meals.
She thought about having a vending machine to generalize the vegetarian meal. However, she waited 3 years for this machine. The kitchen for the rice ball begins working. They produce rice balls 3 times a day, so the consumers can eat the freshest rice balls.
We eat what is unsold because I feel bad to throw food away.
The team brainstorms and invents new tests. because they hope more people can also taste the beauty of vegetarian rice bowls and also want to protect animal lives and the earth.
The Taichung Jingsi Hall is a sea-level location for long-term care of seniors, with 137 seniors averaging more than 65 years of age. In order to avoid group infection, it has been suspended for 1.5 months since the beginning of February. Worrying about the physical and mental conditions of the solitary seniors, caregivers and volunteers with good epidemic prevention measures started visiting them one by one.
Disinfecting both hands and wearing a mask all the way. Although the classes in Jingxi Hall were suspended, volunteers' care for the seniors still continued. The caregiver Tzu Chi accompanied more than 130 seniors to attend a class in Taichung Jingxi Hall. The course for seniors' brain revitalization has been organized for the seniors for nearly 2 years. It was suspended temporarily because of the epidemic. Apart from calling the seniors to care for their latest situation, volunteers also visit them directly to keep them company. Tzu Chi was presenting an eco-friendly mask storage case, which was made by a transparent folder to a senior.
I'm very happy. It's like meeting an old friend not seeing for a long time.
I also worried about them. They didn't go to the long-term care center. I don't know their latest situation.
I'm afraid some of their mobility will move backwards. It is quite difficult to train them again.
It is good that they came to our home to visit us during class suspension.
I hope to resume class earlier, which is April before, but now it may have changed again. It should not be delayed anymore.
Worrying that the class resumption would be further delayed, the seniors seemed disappointed. It is hoped that the epidemic will be stabilized soon and everyone can start attending classes again.
Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital has gradually brought medical services into the communities. As seniors over the age of 65 make up nearly 20% of the town population, the hospital has set up the home care service team in 2017. Then, they have set up 3 long-term care stations in the communities. This year, the hospital has set up a care center for dementia patients, making its long-term care services even more complete.
For 58-year-old Auntie Zhuo, who has mobility issues, the nurse aide is like her daughter. The nurse aide accompanies her doing household chores and helping her take showers.
There is a limit to what the families can do because they do not know how to take care of their parents, so the nurse aides help them.
Up until June of 2019, the aging index of Guanshan town is 180.02%. As young people leave the town for work, Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital home care team has shouldered the mission of caring for the disabled or solitary seniors. Nurse aides usually have to serve 6 to 8 cases every day. Nurse aides buy daily supplies and deliver them to the house of the care recipient. 55-year-old solitary Uncle Peng suffers from muscle atrophy and chronic illnesses. The nurse aide's companionship has helped him let go of his suicidal thoughts.
I put on my clothes and my leather shoes and was ready to go. Fortunately, the sister was around. I really appreciate you.
The medical professionals reach out to those who cannot walk out. Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital's long-term care plans have 3 stages. Stage A, home visitation, has 230 cases. Stage B, home care, has 180 cases. For Stage C, the hospital has set up 3 long-term care stations in the communities, with classes to promote the seniors' health. This year, Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital has set up a care center for dementia patients, offering one-stop services. This way, patients do not need to travel to Hualien for assessment.
When she went to the Hualien Tzu Chi hospital, her spirits were low. After she came here, her spirits became better. The patient and her family no longer need to travel long distances, so they are more willing to seek medical attention.
Combining home care with services for dementia patients, in March of 2018, Guanshan Church Dementia Care Station was set up. The seniors are encouraged here and have found the motivation for life.
We should walk into other people's life. I think long-term care is something we must do. We need to work even harder and more mindfully to improve the dementia care center.
Social worker Wang Chaoli has been serving at Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital's home care team for a year. She was determined to serve in her hometown since graduating from college.
The medical staff at Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital does not only work because of their responsibility, but also do it out of their own initiative. I encourage young people to work in long-term care services. They can use their creativities at work.
For 20 years, the staff of Guanshan Tzu Chi Hospital have worked hard to serve patients. They will continue to safeguard the health of people in Guanshan, where they call home.
Although barbecue foods are delicious, it is advised to take less. In Taichung County, 62-year-old Mr. Lin has been diagnosed with HER2-positive terminal stomach cancer. Fortunately, with targeted therapy, his condition turned for the better. Let's take a look.
这边就是一个很大的胃溃，一个溃疡性的肿瘤，它这是用药前的，那用药后就变这样，它就是剩下一点点疤痕。
Targeted therapy have been proven to be very successful. The endoscopy shows that no cancer cells have been detected in the stomach.
We're currently using this method alongside chemotherapy on stage 4 patients. Around 60% of the patient will have an effect. The tumor will shrink to a certain size.
The patient is a 62-year-old man who has a regular lifestyle but loves to eat barbecue at least 3 times a week. He discovered that he had a rare HER2-positive terminal stage stomach cancer 2 years ago.
The percentage of contracting the stomach cancer is very low, only about 10%. If there's this epidermal growth factor, it will affect the growth of the tumor. If we block this growth factor, then we can control the growth of the cancer.
The cost of targeted therapy is over $33,000 US. It is very stressful financially for the patients.
I had the therapy for quite some time and the results were very promising. However, due to financial issues, I stopped for quite some time.
The targeted therapy was recently added under the National Health Insurance. Mr. Lin started the therapy once again and his condition improved a lot. Doctors suggest people be aware of indigestion problems. If it continues for 1 to 2 months, remember to head over to a hospital for an endoscopy. Tzu Chi volunteers in Buenos Aires, Argentina have been distributing stationery to students in need for the past 14 years. This year in January, the volunteers also gave various new stationery for the children according to their ages. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.